What's going on, you guys? Get on in here for the latest episode of It's Real to Us, the wrestling podcast. I am Anthony the Mark, joined alongside Tony the Father.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we are talking about the July 15th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. And I think it's only fair to start our show with the way Monday Night Raw started, and that was the return to Monday Night Mommy. Rhea Ripley kicked off the show and basically called out Liv Morgan. She goes like, Dominic Mysterio, I'll talk about him later. Whatever. I'm here because I want the Women's World Championship back. And this, of course, brought out Dominic Mysterio, who was, I think you called him Stewie Griffey. Stewie Griffey?
Mommy. Yeah, he's like, whoever watched Family Guy, when that one episode when Stewie is like, Mommy, and Lois is getting annoyed. That's how Dom is tonight. He was calling her Mommy like 100 times. And how you never heard Rhea Ripley call Dominic his last name. Dominic Mysterio, she called him. It's Dom, it's Dirty Dom, it's my Latin lover. She never used his last name. Tonight she did. I tell you, she turned her back on Dom tonight. A woman has a fine line between love and hate, and Dom is learning what hate is all about.
Yeah, Dom all night was trying to do whatever he could to get back in Rhea Ripley's good graces. He even brought out a black rose, which I thought was a nice touch to Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day altogether. And all night he was, Mommy, what can I do? Mommy, can I do this? Mommy, can I do that?
He was such an ass kiss. That's what another thing, too. He was sucking up so bad. She didn't want no part of it, though. I tell you, Dom and Rhea, I think, are going to be done. And this is what I call going forward, because I was surprised tonight that you saw Rhea. You know, Rhea and Damian are tight. But then with McDonough and Finn, with the tag team titles, I thought that Finn and McDonough were going to kind of be a little weird with her. They weren't right back.
All good in the Judgment Day.
I think
no problems.
I think you're going to see Liv and Dom together.
Maybe that's what happens, because at SummerSlam, it was made official tonight. Liv Morgan will defend the Women's World title against the former champion, Rhea Ripley. And to Tony's point, how will Dominic Mysterio, that's how she said it.
Yeah, Mysterio.
How will Dominic Mysterio factor into their matchup? Because that is probably what will decide who walks out with the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be Liv and Rhea at SummerSlam. And how ironic would it be if somehow Dom in the next 3 weeks tries to get in Rhea's good grace and she just doesn't want nothing to do with it, and at SummerSlam, Dom realizes and he snaps and he causes Rhea to lose, and then you got the Liv and Dom show now.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. That's what's going to happen, I'm telling you. Because Liv is not going to go against the Judgment Day on her own. It's going to be Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, McDonough, Finn, Dom, and Carlito? There's no way. Someone's got to be in her corner. Something's got to happen where Liv is going to have some allies. And right now, I got a feeling Dom might be that guy.
Maybe over the next couple of weeks, Dominic will realize what we realized during our watch-along, and that is that Mysterio might be better off with Liv Morgan right now. Liv is helping Dominic pick up some of the biggest wins of his career. He beat his deadbeat dad just a couple of weeks ago.
For the first time ever, he beat his deadbeat dad. Well, he's not a deadbeat. But for the first time ever, he beat Rey Mysterio. Tonight, Rhea cost him the match against Yeet.
Yeah, so
she came out, and then when she came out, everything went bad for him, and he lost.
Yeah, so later in the night, Dominic Mysterio was trying to prove himself to Rhea Ripley, and he was going up against Mr. Monday Night Yeet Jey Uso, and Liv Morgan came down and was helping Dominic win the match. But then once things got physical between Dominic and Liv again, Liv ended up on top of Dom. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was similar to last week where Dom fell on top of Liv, but instead of them looking at each other, Liv threw Dominic on his side, and she grabbed on top of him. Earlier in the night, Liv was saying like she was on top and she was stealing Rhea's catchphrase.
I'm on top, mommy. Yeah.
But anyways, Rhea Ripley comes out, and because of the distraction, ends up costing Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
So back to my point, over the next couple of weeks, will Dominic realize maybe he's better off in Liv's corner?
You know what? I think he's going to realize, and I also think that Finn and McDonough are going to come around to the fact that if it wasn't for Liv Morgan, they wouldn't have the title shot, and then if it wasn't for Liv Morgan, the belts wouldn't be on their stomachs right now. So I think that you're going to see Finn and McDonough also turn because I think Finn and Damian are going to butt heads, and I think I can see something turn because how do they go into SummerSlam with Liv Morgan by herself versus the Judgment Day? It's not going to happen.
Well, they're not. It's Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio is the only one who has to factor into the match. Nobody else is going to get involved. It's just going to be Dominic. So the Civil War that you want, I could see it happening, but not right away, not at SummerSlam. Maybe a post-SummerSlam landscape where Liv Morgan's still champion, Dominic Mysterio
maybe that's the angle. I was looking for more of a Civil War type with the Judgment Day.
Yes, but
where
you
they're
want
gonna
that
divide
right away.
No, maybe you're right. It's not going to happen. It's just going to be Rhea versus Liv, and Dom is Dom is going to be in the middle. And which way at SummerSlam is Dom going to go? Is he going to end up costing Rhea or helping Rhea? And that's going to decide. And then you're going to see, I think, an alliance with possible Civil War after Damian loses to Gunther. So it's very possible that's what's going to happen down the road.
Yeah, Dominic might be the first domino to fall, so to speak, in terms of like sides. But I think
he might just, you know what? He might just get disrespected for the next 3 weeks, and then at SummerSlam, he gets disrespected again, and that's when it all sets in.
That's what I think would happen.
I got to go. This is the way I need to go. And he snaps, and he costs her the match.
He's like, why do I have to put up with this when I have somebody who wants
I have
me
someone that loves
and helps me?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what's going to happen. And Damian Priest has been treating him like a son. We saw it a couple weeks ago. Dominic was like, you remind me of my dad. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if Mysterio not only turns on Rhea Ripley, but Damian Priest altogether.
Also,
Then maybe we'll see where JD McDonough and Finn Balor's loyalties lies. And that leaves us to the best part of what I think Monday Night Raw was. And that is the fact that Carlito is still in the Judgment Day.
For now, but Rhea's back, and she's like, what is he doing here? Like, he's the new R-Truth, Carlito.
Yeah.
So how long is he going to be there?
She didn't kick him out.
Not yet, but you know what? She's not in a great mood, so I don't see him being around much longer. But we'll see, though. Maybe, between now and SummerSlam, it's going to be kind of fun, and we'll see what happens.
Carlito had a couple of one-liners, and it's a shame that I don't remember them off the top of my head.
She's mad.
Is that what it was?
It was the first time. She's mad.
Something like that, and it's perfect.
Not cool was the last one.
Yeah.
Not cool.
That's not cool.
She's mad. Not cool.
And they're just hysterical. He's great. Everything about
I love Carlito.
Yeah, everything about him in the Judgment Day works. So I think we covered just about everything from that part of the Judgment Day. Why don't we move over and talk about the World Heavyweight Champion, El Campeón?
El Campeón. I tell you, Damian Priest it was his best moment in the last 4 months on WWE. How long has he had the title? For 3 months now?
Since WrestleMania, 3 months.
Since he's had the title, tonight was his best night.
Best performance.
Between performing in the ring and the promos. He did a great job. He's had nothing but he's laying on his back for 10 seconds as they're counting. He gets foot caught in a rope. He just doesn't. He misses a wrestling move. But tonight he actually hit everything. He had a great night tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And let's start with the face-to-face with Gunther. As everyone knows, Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship will take place at SummerSlam. And this was the first meeting, really, between champion and challenger where it felt like we were building a rivalry.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely, Gunther came out, his usual Gunther. He looks down at everyone. He talks down to everyone. He tries to think he's better than everyone, which he kind of is. But, he gets away with it. He was calling Damian street trash.
Yeah.
He called his father and mother trash. Yeah. He was calling basically, my father and mother took care of me. They sent me to the best schools. WWE knocked on my door. I didn't knock on theirs. My parents did. Your parents are street trash like you. So he made Damian pissed him off, but he made him fucking look, belittled him and stuff. And Gunther's great at that. He does that to everyone he's going to fight. But Damian, you know what? Good for Damian. He held his ground, and he fought back with his words, and then he kicked his ass in the ring tonight. So that was great.
Yeah, so not only, like Tony is saying, defended himself verbally, he came back and he went toe-to-toe with Gunther, sent Gunther packing. Braun Strowman came out, and the champion went toe-to-toe with the toughest monster SOB there is, and he won clean and decisively. He got Braun Strowman up for a South of Heaven chokeslam. I was surprised. I looked at Tony midway through the match, and I'm like, he can't hit a chokeslam on Strowman.
He did.
He
Nailed
did.
it.
He nailed it. It looked
He nailed
great.
it. He did it. He nailed it. You know, Braun sold it great too, but he nailed it. You know, Braun's lost. You know, he's lost a little off the fastball. We got to admit that.
He's still great. He's
Nah,
absolutely
you know
great.
what? He's still great, but he's not that monster anymore. When he runs around the ring, it's a little slower. His moves are a little slower. He lost a little off the fastball. He's still a great draw. He's the monster, but he's not that overwhelming monster he used to be. But big win for Damian. Just the way he beat Braun Strowman tonight. First, he took Braun's knee out, then the choke slam at the end. 1, 2, 3. He pinned him. So it's a big night for Damian Priest tonight.
Yeah,
big night.
Big night, and he was fluid. He looked good, and afterwards, as Tony also alluded to, Gunther came down, and we got a SummerSlam preview. Things got physical. Things got physical between Damian Priest and Gunther, and Priest stood tall.
He held his own. He knocked Gunther out of the ring twice, and at the end, you know, whatever they had tonight, Priest came on top. He did the better job tonight.
Yeah.
So good for you, Damian. It's about time you stuffed that. You know, I've been beating Damian Priest up for a long time now, and I watched Triple H on all the after shows. Oh, Damian Priest, you know, yeah, big deal. His foot got stuck in a rope, but he's one of the best wrestlers we got. And I'm sick of listening to that every time I watch Damian. Oh yeah, Damian Priest laid on his back for a half hour, and you know he got pinned twice. But you know what? Besides that, he did a great job. You know what? Triple H, shut the F up, because you're always covering for the guy.
No.
Yes, he is.
You're
He's
trying to
always-
hold him up. You're trying to hold.
No,
Priest.
but I'm giving Damian his due tonight. You
Yeah,
finally
keep it
stepped
positive.
up and you carried your weight, and you did a great job, Damian Priest. So good for you tonight. Keep it up, pal. Keep it up.
Yeah, so obviously the Judgment Day are the big talking point. We'll do our whole SummerSlam predictions a little later on when we get closer to the show. But the last thing I want to say about Priest and just Priest before we move on is that I think WWE has quietly done a really good job of building him up as a babyface. And you felt that tonight. The crowd was behind
Yeah,
him.
well, Gunther's the ultimate heel.
ultimate
Everybody's a baby face when you go up against Gunther.
Yeah.
You have to be, because Gunther comes out and like I said, he talks down to you,
better
makes
than
fun of
you.
you, tells you your mother and father are street trash, and and he smirks and he laughs at you, and so Gunther's the best heel in the company.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. So yeah, but Damian did, like I said, Damian did a great job tonight.
did.
It was nice to see him do a good job.
And so we're both excited now for the upcoming Damian Priest and Gunther match, along with Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. But we'll leave that there because we got to talk about Monday Night Raw. And I think we have to go next to the presence of the Wyatt Six. We'll start with the VHS tape where we saw and heard from Rowan, who is Rambling Rabbit.
Yeah, and Eric Rowan, how emotional was he tonight? When you saw him, he lost Luke Harper, because remember he said, I had 2 losses. He lost Luke Harper, who he was so close with. Even though Luke Harper at the time was away from WWE, was at AEW when he passed away. But he lost Luke Harper, and then he lost Bray Wyatt. These guys meant everything to him. They meant everything to him. So take away him playing, what is he playing, the Rabbit?
Yeah, he's Rambling Rabbit.
He's Rambling Rabbit. Take that away. Personally, he lost 2 close friends. So, you know what? I'm glad that Eric Rowan is back. I'm glad that he's involved in this, because he belongs there. He really does.
It's nice that WWE is highlighting all of these characters. I think that we'll hear from Rambling Rabbit again. I think we'll hear from Joe Gacy as Huskus the Pig, and Dexter Loomis as, who is he? Mercy the Buzzard, and then, of course, Nikki Cross as Abby the Witch. This is a way, and I told this to Tony during our watch-along, to humanize these characters. So when you see them in the ring, like we saw Bo Dallas in the ring tonight on Raw, and we'll get to that in just a moment, but when you see these characters in the ring, you'll believe into the idea of them fighting not as these supernatural presence, but as wrestlers and performers.
Yeah, but like I said, the story about Eric Rowan with his relationship with Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. So it's nice that he's involved, And I would like to see that 6th member. I want to see it, Alexa Bliss. How cool would it be to see Alexa Bliss with her character and Abby the Witch, Nikki Cross, become tag team?
Well, Nick,
And they won the tag team titles once before. That would be a cool thing to see Alexa Bliss with the Wyatt Sick and to be involved in like a tag team with Abby the Witch. That would be kind of cool.
You are committed to calling them the Wyatt Sick, aren't you?
The Wyatt Sick. That's what
They're the
they are.
Wyatt Six.
The sixth. I call them sick. Well, they're sick.
They are sick, but they're also there's going to be 6 of them, and if it's not Alexa Bliss, in a way, the 6th member could always be
Wyatt
Bray Wyatt.
Sixth.
The 6th member could always be Bray Wyatt because of
His
just
presence.
It's always there. It's eerie. So let's talk about, because I want to talk more about Bray Wyatt, but I feel like we should talk about Bo Dallas appearing as Bo Dallas on Raw. Chad Gable, who has been at the microscope, or he has been at the forefront of the Wyatt Six's mind games and assault since emerging, called out Bo Dallas tonight, and he walked in flesh and blood. Tony, what was your reaction to seeing that?
It was unbelievable. It gave me goosebumps. And tonight, if you put 25 pounds or 30 pounds on Bo Dallas tonight, he's Bray Wyatt. He looked like his brother tonight. You put a little more weight on him, that's Bray Wyatt. You see, going like the firehouse, the fireflies. That's Bray Wyatt. A couple more pounds on him, but he looked like his brother. And you know what? Good for Bo Dallas, too, because, he was obsolete, too, for a while. He wasn't doing anything. Who knows? People are like, who knows if he's going to stay with the company. And good for WWE to do what they're doing, because it keeps Bray Wyatt in our minds. It keeps him in our heart. And how could you not love Bray Wyatt, what he did for wrestling, and the characters this is all Bray Wyatt. The Wyatt Six is Bray Wyatt. These are all his characters. So this is him. So it's nice that they're doing this, and I hope this lasts a while, and I think it's gonna. So but it's a spooky, eerie thing, and I wouldn't want to be Chad Gable.
And speaking of Chad Gable, he, to the joy and excitement of everyone on the internet, aligned himself with the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
So we saw for weeks the Creed brothers and Gable were talking backstage, and it finally happened. We have the most athletic trio ever joining forces. The Julius and Brutus attacked Bo Dallas from behind, and the three of them, of course, Chad Gable being the third, beat down Bo Dallas, and all the while, Dallas just laughed and laughed and laughed. And the reason he laughed is because he knew the Wyatt Six were coming. The lights went down. The eerie music started. We got all of the aforementioned characters to come out to the ring. Gable and the Creeds ran away. Tony, this was, it's getting a bit repetitive to say goosebumps and eeriness and crazy,
No.
but this was all of it.
Yeah, it was fantastic what they did tonight with it, and you saw all the characters. They came into the ring. The Wyatt Six, the number?
6.
The Wyatt Six. You saw them all coming to the ring for the first time tonight. Bo Dallas with the smirk, the laughing. The more you hit him, the more he laughed. They gave you that invincible monster. You don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, supernatural type of thing. And, Bo Dallas is going to wrestle as Bo Dallas, and he's going to wrestle as Uncle Howdy, just like Bray Wyatt wrestled as Bray Wyatt, and then he wrestled as The Fiend. So you're going to see those characters like that. You might see Eric Rowan wrestle as Eric Rowan, and then he's going to wrestle as the Rabbit. You might see them all do that, and you don't know what you're going to see and what you're going to get. You're going to have a match with Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable, and you see Bo Dallas and Gable, and they're talking beforehand in the ring, and they're signing contracts, or they're having face-offs in the day of the match. It's Gable, and out comes Uncle Howdy.
The opportunities for this story are limitless, and I think that we should all just be excited, appreciative. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this in the WWE before. Of course, you think back to The Undertaker, the aforementioned Bray Wyatt, but this is a whole stable of just complete and utter monsters. It's I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I love it, and I'm not going to say anything negative about it. I love it. It's great. And something else I love is the fact that Julius and Brutus align themselves with Chad Gable. I don't think it's the smartest thing in the world. I don't know why you'd want to pick a fight with the Wyatt Six, but it is fun to see those three together.
Yeah, it is. And Gable's on his own, so he needed someone. The other, Otis and Dupree, they're done with him. They don't want nothing to do with him. So it's kind of good, and it gives the brothers something going on, because they were kind of like flatline, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So it's good. They
needed this for sure.
It's a good fit for everyone.
Yeah, so it's exciting to see what happens with that storyline. Are we going to get a 6-man tag, or are we going to get Chad Gable versus Uncle Howdy? We're definitely going to hear from all of the members of the Wyatt Six. So every single week. Their can't miss television. I'm excited for it. Tony's excited for it. So, yeah, we'll leave that there. Not enough good things to say. Anxiously awaiting the return.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of other things that happened on Monday Night Raw. Just nothing really huge. Sheamus beat Big Bronson Reed, and then after the match, Bronson was going to attack Sheamus, and out comes Pete Dunne, and he saves his former Brawling Brute teammate. But then after Sheamus went for, hey, thanks, buddy, thanks, lad, Pete Dunne walked away. And then once Sheamus turned his back, Dunne jumps in and attacks Sheamus.
He knocked Sheamus down, yeah. Well, Dunne is still mad because he kind of feels like Sheamus abandoning them. That's what I think. I think him and Sheamus are going to eventually work this out because Dunne came in to protect Sheamus tonight for no reason. He helped Sheamus. And then he probably annoyed, whatever, so he was a little upset still with Sheamus. So when Sheamus turned his back, he's like, hey, listen, don't let your guard down because you know what? You still owe me an explanation. You still owe me a lot. And he ended up attacking Sheamus. So Dunne right now is a little confused, but I can see Sheamus and Dunne mending ways and maybe doing some tag team. I can definitely see it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think Dunne is, like you said, upset at Sheamus, but this goes back to his Butch character. He had a short fuse, so maybe he's mad at him. Maybe they'll make amends, but if not, I wouldn't mind seeing them fight. Think about it. They've tagged already together, so let's see them go at it. But let's leave that there. A lot happened on Raw. A lot we need to talk about. Zelina Vega lost in 1 minute and 4 seconds to Sonya Deville.
That was a squash match. I don't get it. Why have that match to squash Zelina Vega like that? She does so much for WWE. She's always involved. She's always, someone you can count on. Why squash her like that? Unless something happened in the match, but I didn't see it. At least 5-6 minutes. Come on, 1 minute, and then she's going to lose to Sonya Deville like that?
I mean, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark came out, and they hurt Zelina. They distracted her, so that's how Deville was able to pick up the win so quick. But Zelina's just getting disrespected left and right. She had an awesome promo backstage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She comes out, she rocks the Puerto Rican flag.
Unless she got hurt or something.
No, she didn't.
Then it was stupid. I didn't like the book then. I didn't like it.
We're going to talk about the main event in a couple of minutes. And, the show felt like there was so much going on that, unfortunately, some segments just lacked. And they cut time here because 1 minute is not a lot. So disrespect to Zelina. Sonya Deville picks up a meaningless win. Let's finish talking about that women's section because later in the night, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler picked up a win over KC2 in the women's tag team division. So it looks like WWE is trying to position this new women's trio stable, Deville, Stark, and Baszler, to be a threat in the women's division moving forward.
Yeah, and going back to Zelina Vega, take 2 minutes or 3 minutes off the Zoe Stark match.
Yeah, because that was a long match. That was like 12 or 10 minutes.
Like 12, 13 minutes. I was saying it was bad. Yeah, whatever it was. It was a bad book tonight what they did to her. So she had the promo backstage. She comes out. She looks great. She spent, what do you think she spent? 5 hours to get her hair done again this week?
Yeah.
For what, 1 minute?
Seriously.
Every week she's got to spend 5 hours in a beauty parlor. She's always got beautiful colored hair. She had the Puerto Rican flag, and they give her a minute. So, come on, give me a break. Triple H, come on.
Something else I wanted to say is I give KC2 a lot of crap, but they're pretty solid. I got to say every time they're in the ring,
they're entertaining. They're like a vaudeville act. They're very acrobatic. Yeah. But I just don't like them.
I like seeing them. Like when they lose, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
Them. I don't like them when they win.
I root for them to lose when they come out and they're all. I don't know. Something about them, it just irks me. They're very good. Don't get me wrong, but go back to NXT. I'm sick of looking at it.
Yeah, all right, whatever. So we'll leave that there, and then we got a couple of other big things to talk about. One being Drew McIntyre is still suspended. So Adam Pearce called Drew McIntyre down to the ring, and he said, "Look, Drew, you want a match against CM Punk at SummerSlam. CM Punk wants that. The fans want it. Let's make it happen. All you got to do is apologize to the two officials you put your hands on after CM Punk cost you the World Heavyweight Championship."
You know what? Adam Pearce wanted him to apologize on TV to the two guys, the two referees that he ended up, getting mad at or whatever. He should not apologize. The guy was pissed off. CM Punk just cost him another title, another match. How many times has he got to get, to go down this road with CM Punk? So Adam Pearce was trying to embarrass him a little on TV. I'm glad he stuck up for him. Good for you, Drew. Good for you. I don't care if you're suspended again this week. I'm rooting for you. I'm glad you didn't apologize. I'm glad you knocked the referees on their ass. And I'm glad you told Adam Pearce to go to hell. Good.
Yeah, so Drew didn't apologize, and then he once again put his hands on officials, which led Seth Rollins to come out and make the save. And I don't know. We were talking last week about whether or not CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is going to turn into a triple threat with Seth Rollins. It just doesn't feel like the move at the moment. But as we found out earlier today, CM Punk still is not medically cleared.
That's another thing. When is this guy going to come back? He's not medically cleared. He's damaged goods.
I mean, he'll be on
Now,
Raw next week.
He
Announce
could
that.
be medically
Maybe
cleared.
Maybe he'll
just-
announce it then. He's medically
Maybe,
cleared.
but he could be medically cleared, but that's why
It's
maybe
storyline
it's
to
a
drag it
storyline.
out.
But let me tell you why he's not. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when Drew McIntyre beat the hell out of CM Punk and carried him into the ring, you didn't see one minute of him getting beat up because he's not medically cleared. You didn't want to put him through anything. You didn't want to throw him off a table or throw him into a wall. You can't do it. The guy's like tissue. He's just he's not whatever it is. CM Punk, if you're not going to be medically cleared, what is he going to show up one match like he showed up at the Royal Rumble? He's going to show up at SummerSlam, and it's going to be his first match back, and who knows what's going to happen? Is he going to blow his arm out again or something? Or,
Yeah, no, it's. I'm a bit frustrated with the fact that we
come on, the
haven't
guy's
had
here
this
a
match.
year now.
We had the Clash at the Castle main event, not ruined, but interjected, not a clean finish. CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre, then he cost the Money in the Bank, and now it just feels like, all right, let's get this show on the road. I want to see the match happen, but I think WWE is keeping all of their options open because maybe CM Punk isn't back.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know what they want to do with Seth Rollins, or maybe they just have us on a string. They're gonna give us Drew versus Seth at SummerSlam, or I'm sorry, Drew versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins is going to get involved at some point. He's not doing anything else. So
or maybe they're going to be Seth versus Drew if CM Punk's not medically cleared.
that's a possibility too. So
who knows?
we will hear from CM Punk on Raw next week. Hopefully he announces he's cleared. I think we're going to head it doesn't make sense for a triple threat. It really doesn't. CM Punk, he doesn't have that much bad blood with both men. Yes, he does, but it feels like secondary to what's going on with Drew and CM Punk one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
So to interject him in that match would be forcing him in my opinion. So I'm hoping for a one-on-one match.
What do you do with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam then? You going to have him sit it out?
I
Seth?
I think he interferes.
One of the best wrestlers in the company.
I think he makes his presence known in the match, and he cost maybe who is it? CM Punk cost Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. So I think Seth Rollins will cost CM Punk at SummerSlam against Drew McIntyre, and then you kind of make it a full bookend moment. But then what are we doing? I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit of a mess, but maybe that's a good thing. You don't know where it's going to go.
I don't know. I think it's because CM Punk. I think this would have been resolved months ago if CM Punk was healthy.
Yeah.
You don't need CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. It's 4 months now back and forth. How many matches did CM Punk cause Drew McIntyre? How many times did Drew McIntyre kick the shit out of CM Punk? It's got to come to a head. This guy's got to be medically cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So hopefully that is the news we will hear next week. But let's finish things up with the main event of Monday Night Raw, in which we saw Sami Zayn defend the Intercontinental Championship against Ilya Dragunov. And in what was a very hard-hitting and entertaining match that may have suffered a little bit from not having a ton of time.
Yeah, it's the first time in Raw, and I can't remember. They went to 11 o'clock.
On the dot. And
yeah.
they had to send Braun Breaker out there at the 10:58 mark to cause disqualification, which everybody knew was coming earlier in the night. Adam Pearce kicked him out of the building, but surprise, surprise, Breaker ended up interfering in the match. And this is the situation where I think most definitely we'll see a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think so. You have to have a triple threat on this match: Sammy, Braun, and Dragunov. The only thing that makes sense, and probably you don't know which way it's gonna go. You know, if Sammy was fighting Braun, if Sammy was fighting Breaker at SummerSlam head to head, you would say, okay, was the kid going to lose twice in a row to Sammy now? Probably not. He's going to put the title on him. But now that you put Dragunov in there, you don't know which way they can go with it. So it's kind of an interesting take. Braun Breaker's a badass. He's going to be, WWE is going to push him. He's that baby Brock. And, he's got a lot of upside. So his time is coming very soon. If not SummerSlam, pretty soon after that.
Yeah, I am excited for the triple threat, but I am disappointed we didn't get a clean finish between Ilya and Sammy because they were building to something that was awesome, okay? The Ilya Dragunov moveset is just completely incredible, and everything he does, from the way he sells to the way his hair moves, it's just, he is what a sports entertainer, professional wrestler, whatever you want to call it, should be. So I don't know. Like, the more I see him, the more I wouldn't mind seeing gold around his waist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And if you think about Dragunov, he's taken a lot of pins in the last couple of
Not
months.
too many.
But he's taken a lot. More than Sammy, more than Braun. He's taken a lot of pins. So I'm glad he didn't take another pin tonight.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's involved in the
Get
mix.
him legitimate. Give him some chance. Build him up a little bit. If you want to push this guy also, it was nice not to see him take another pin tonight.
Yeah, so quick prediction. And we can change it for our SummerSlam prediction. Say it is a triple threat. Who do you got? Sammy, Breaker, Ilya. Right
If
now.
it's a triple threat, SummerSlam, I think it's Braun's time. Now is the time you put it on him. He took the one loss from Sammy. Sammy's had the title for 4 months. Right after SummerSlam, it's kind of a lull. It'll be a good time for Sammy's been a great champion fighting week after week. It'll be a nice time to put it on Braun Breaker. So that's who I'm going to go.
Who gets pinned?
I
Sammy
think,
or Ilya?
I think, well, it'll probably maybe to make it clean, you pin Sammy, but if you want to if Breaker pins Ilya, that could set up another match between Sammy and Braun also going forward. So, but you know what? I think it's if it's a triple threat, I think it's going to be Braun Breaker's time. It'll be the right time, right after SummerSlam, to put the title on.
I agree with you completely. So that was Monday Night Raw in a nutshell. If we missed something, I'm sorry. It's late. What did you think? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? We want to hear all about it. Reach out to us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at It's Real to Us. Over on YouTube, we are at It's Real to Us 1. Tony, what would you rate Monday Night Raw 1 to 10 tonight?
It was, you know what, wrestling-wise, it was, once again, like SmackDown the other day. You don't have a lot of matches, a lot of fillers, but it was entertaining. You had Rhea coming back. You got the Rhea to Dom, the whole thing going on. Damian had a great night.
Yeah, Judgment Day shine tonight.
Yeah, the Judgment Day was great tonight. The Wyatt Six was awesome. I got that right?
Yeah.
The Wyatt Six, yeah. The Wyatt Six was awesome again tonight. Gable did an outstanding job again tonight. So, you know, it was a good show. You didn't have a lot of wrestling, like big time matches, but it's still, you know, I give the show an 8.5 tonight.
Yeah, and the matches we did have, though, were solid. Like,
They were
Sheamus
solid.
Bronson was solid for what it was.
Good matches.
Yeah, the Intercontinental Championship, really good for what
Good.
it was.
It ended the show the way it was. So, like I said, it was a good show tonight. Maybe 8.8.
Braun Damian was solid.
Yeah, 8.8, something like that. So it was a really good
8.8's
Raw.
a little high. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it was a solid Raw, like you said, entertaining
See, I'm
throughout.
throwing it in because I thought the promos were really good tonight.
Yeah, and the storytelling was great. So
Yeah, so
good
I'm
episode of
giving it
Monday
a
Night
good,
Raw.
Yeah, a very good episode of Monday Night Raw.
We're satisfied. We hope you are too. Thank you for watching It's Real to Us, the wrestling podcast. I am Anthony the Mark. He is Tony the Father.
And we will see you next on It's Real to Us, the wrestling podcast.
There's the banner. It's up there.